Denise Toomey.
Good evening, Senator Coleman, and distinguished members of the Judiciary Committee. My first name is Denise, and I'm withholding my last name in an attempt to protect my son's privacy. I live in Danbury, Connecticut, and it's my first time here, so I'm hoping you bear with me. I'm here today to tell you that it would be impossible to condense my last 4 years of egregious misconduct into 3 minutes. I'm also here to tell you that I do believe that there are major problems within our GAL and AMC procedures, but I don't know if I can tell you that the entire system is broken. All I know is what I've experienced. I am a proud mother of 3 wonderful, very loved sons, and my oldest son is a 26-year-old man who courageously has chosen to defend, protect, and preserve our nation's freedom while he serves in the United States Navy in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. And I am able to sit here before you today because of that. That's the way I feel. As nervous and frightened I am to come before you because I fear retaliation and what have you, I know that my sons would be proud. Especially since my youngest son's AMC is to my left, Attorney Sharon Dornfeld, and she's probably staring at me right now. So, but with that being said, I've been watching the reappointment process of the Connecticut court judges, in particular Judge Harry Kalmar. I did not come here that day to oppose his reappointment because, truthfully, I really don't think that although his memorandum of decision on January 26, 2012, has caused irreparable damage and more devastation to my sons and my lives than Hurricane Sandy did along the coastline of Connecticut. But I still do not believe that even he is aware of the injustice that is going on around him. And I want to know, basically, I feel that the judges should know what's going on because you're only as good as the company you keep. My son's life was taken. Oh, can I continue? My
Wrap
son's
up
life.
if you would.
What? I'm sorry.
Just proceed to wrap up.
Okay. I could tell you that my son's life was taken from him one day out of his school, and it wasn't by a mentally disturbed individual with an assault weapon. Instead, it was with a self-proclaimed bully with a law degree. And I can honestly tell you, it's not my wording. It's because I have an email that says I bullied, with the judge's help, everyone into agreeing that all exchanges would be at New Fairfield Police Department. That was from Attorney Sharon Dornfeld. And that judge that she was talking about is Judge Heidi Winslow in Danbury, Connecticut, that day. And I don't truly believe that Judge Winslow would be happy to know that she's assisting a bully. I also, and she entered a stip into that effect. And the stipulation actually said that all exchanges with a minor child would take place at premises in the future, and said all exchanges would take place in the New Fairfield Police Department. Well, I can tell you that on January 26th, my son was kidnapped out of his school because Attorney Dornfeld and his father took him out of his school. I don't know what a good court order is if people that have the power to not adhere to it is the problem. I also know that I think that one of the major problems of this system is no accountability, and that people in power are abusing it, and the people that really have the power aren't utilizing it. Because I truthfully do not feel that every judge in the state of Connecticut is corrupt. I feel that they have come a long way and have in their careers and have earned the title. I would like to say 98% of them that I know, and I've never, like I said, I don't really feel that Judge Kalmar knows what's going on around him. I don't think that when Judge Kalmar is asking for a piece of evidence, and which shows my son's credibility, and you could read his testimony. It says, "Am I going to get that video today?" And everyone said no. But after my son was taken, I tried to get this video, and I had a letter from the New Fairfield First Selectman, and he says, "I'm sorry to inform you that the police department surveillance tapes you requested are unavailable due to a malfunction of the hard drive. It is my understanding that the footage you seek is not able to be recovered. The tapes you requested have been provided to Attorney Coppola on December 6, 2011. My suggestion would be to contact her." And I'm only telling you this is because where is it? That trial was December 7th and 8th, and that attorney had it in her possession when Judge Harry Kalmar was looking for it. And this video shows my son's credibility. And my son and every child in the state of Connecticut, I feel, deserves to feel safe. I feel deserves to feel secure. And I guess I'm asking also for choice in picking guardian ad litems and AMCs, because although I don't necessarily really think Attorney Dornfeld is a bad person, I just think that we differ, because when she says that my children don't matter, my son's life matters to me more than my own. And I can sit here and tell you, as every parent is here, it's because of that. They care about their children. Those children's lives matter. And my first interaction with Attorney Dornfeld was that she told me that I should have had an abortion. And because basically I said to her, well, she told me, well, you took your 3 sons and you absconded, and you left your poor husband in a lurch. And I said, I don't know where you're getting your information. I said, we've had some marital problems for several years. And she said, and I said, as a matter of fact, I said, prior to me finding out I was pregnant, because my oldest son is going to be 26, my middle son is 23, and my youngest will be 12 shortly. And I said I was ready to leave my husband then. And she said, well, why didn't you? And I said, because I found out I was pregnant. And she said, well, then you should have had an abortion. And I said, that was never going to be an option for me. And she said, well, then you should have put him up for adoption. And I said, that also wasn't an option for me. And my attorney at the time, I looked at her and she said, quote unquote, Sharon, I'm very surprised you're talking to my client that way. Where are you getting this information? And my attorney, I can tell you, if you'd like to ask her, sits on this judiciary committee. Her name is Cecilia Buck-Taylor. She's not here today. But she can verify everything that I'm telling you. And what I'm telling you is that the system is not working because also the conflict is created by very bad attorneys at times. And I'm not saying that Attorney Dornfeld created the conflict. As a matter of fact, I think Attorney Dornfeld ended the conflict because my ex-husband's attorney is really an unethical, immoral attorney, and Attorney Dornfeld knows that. But it was the easiest way to end the conflict was to take my son from me. But it didn't help my son. And I am not disgruntled, I'm disgusted. And I think that if every person whose child gets taken away from them is called disgruntled, I don't believe that. I think that Attorney Dornfeld did not like the fact that, and she told me straight out that my attorney, Cecilia Buck Taylor at the time, tried to get the GAL off my case because she was astounded with the decisions that she was making. And instead, the judge appointed Attorney Dornfeld as an AMC. And I said, well, that really wasn't my fault. And she says, I sat there in that courtroom and I said, well, maybe you want to take it up with her. She's kind of more on your level. I mean, I'm just a mother, who loves my sons. And when my kid comes to me and tells me that his father is not doing the right thing, like to this day, he's drinking and driving in the car with him, you know what? And I can't, and they have the power to interfere and make a DCF investigation incomplete, and because no access to my son is granted, that's not right. My son should be able to feel safe, and every child should be able to feel safe and secure, and I think that my son has rights. And I guess what I'd like to just leave you with right today is please, when you're considering this bill 494, that you think about choice, because we live in a democracy, and otherwise every parent here has been handcuffed behind their back. And my last takeaway here today is that when you're considering this bill, put an end to MOM and DAD being replaced by AMC and GAL.
Thank you very much. Are there questions? That was some wrap-up.
Thank you. I'm trying. I tried.
Congratulations
Thank you.
for completing your first appearance before the Judiciary Committee. We'll look
I
forward to
wish
seeing
Senator
you again.
McLaughlin was here, but he held it because he's from Danbury, and I went to him one day, and I spent about 6 hours the first day in his office when I was supposed to have an hour, and he kept, "You can't leave. I got to hear the rest of this story." He goes, "Because I'm astounded," and it is unfortunate. And also, the GAL that was appointed. I just want to say something because. Can I just, excuse me, Senator Coleman, I do have to say one other thing.
Last point.
Okay.
Seriously, we appreciate all
my
that you
matter
said.
was a post-judgment matter. And my ex-husband came back up from Florida after 4 years of not seeing his sons. And he wanted all kinds of, he had supervised visitation because of his irresponsibility with alcohol. And he didn't like it, and his attorney created a conflict and got a GAL appointed, and the GAL, at her discretion, decided that he didn't need the supervised visitation. And I have a problem with undermining a judge when they do that, and that's what happened in my case.
Are there questions for Ms. Toomey? Seeing none, you were very comprehensive. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful